Welcome back everyone to another episode of Marvel Rivals, where I pit 5 Marvel heroes or villains in a random battle to the death. Now it's your turn to decide who wins this matchup. But before we get into it, now let's meet our 5 Marvel rivals. First up, we have Black Panther. When King T'Challa was only a boy, he had a vision of his ancestors telling him they needed his help. He tracked them down and discovered they were spirits trapped inside the heart-shaped herb. Realizing what he must do, T'Challa took the heart-shaped herb, becoming the new Black Panther, and gained super strength, speed, durability, agility, reflexes, stamina, senses, and the ability to communicate with all animals. Next up is Blade, also known as Eric Brooks. As a child, Eric Brooks was bitten by a vampire while protecting his mother from an attack. His mother would later give birth to him. Due to this half-human and half-vampire heritage, Blade possesses enhanced strength, speed, durability, agility, reflexes and stamina. In addition, he has a healing factor which allows him to heal at an accelerated rate and immortality, since vampires don't age. Blade also has a mastery over swords and other various weaponry. Next up is Moon Knight, aka Mark Spector. After falling into a coma, Mark Spector was visited by the Egyptian god of the moon, Khonshu, who bestowed upon him superpowers after curing his blindness and saving his life. Moon Knight has superhuman strength, durability, stamina, agility, and reflexes. He is a master of martial arts, hand-to-hand combat, and has expert knowledge in military tactics and espionage. Up next is Nova. Richard Rider was exposed to an experimental chemical compound called the X gene, giving him super strength, speed, durability, stamina, agility, and reflexes. He can also fly at supersonic speeds, and has energy manipulation abilities. Nova also has the ability to manipulate and absorb the life force of others. He is an expert marksman and hand-to-hand combatant. And last but not least, Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch was born into the royal family of the fictional country of Latveria. As a young girl, she displayed magical abilities that got her sent to live with her aunt. Her powers continued to grow until she joined Magneto and the Brotherhood of Mutants. While there, she was able to cast no magic spells. During a battle with the Avengers, her power levels increased dramatically, and she was able to use telekinesis to throw the Hulk through multiple buildings. Scarlet Witch's powers are linked to reality and probability, meaning she can distort reality and change probabilities. Now let's get to the battle. As the sun shines bright in the sky, Black Panther leaps across rooftops trying to get away from Moon Knight. They fought fiercely for quite some time, and now T'Challa needs a breather. That's when he hears a voice. "Having a little trouble, Kitty Cat," says a familiar voice. It's Scarlet Witch. She stands beside him with a slight smirk on her face. "You shouldn't have followed me here, Wendigo," says Black Panther. "I could say the same to you," Scarlet replies. Suddenly, Moon Knight appears behind them both and attacks Scarlet, but she simply waves her hands, causing him to fly backwards. She then turns to Black Panther and says, "Care to join him?" But before T'Challa could respond, Blade comes crashing through the roof, landing in front of him. "Step aside, Kitty Cat," he says. "I want a word with the Red Witch." Black Panther shakes off Blade's request, choosing to stand and fight. As Blade leaps forward, Nova flies out of nowhere, blasting Blade with a powerful blast of energy. "Don't hurt him, punk," he says. "You picked the wrong rooftop to crash a party on." "Ha, bug boy," Blade replies, turning to Nova. "This one's personal." "Panther," Scarlet Witch says as she begins attacking. He dodges each one of her attacks with ease, but she just keeps coming at him relentlessly. He soon finds himself on the ground, pinned under her mass. He struggles to break free, but she's just too strong. Just when she's about to deliver the killing blow, Blade cuts her concentration, allowing T'Challa to escape. She turns to Blade, furious. The two begin fighting fiercely against each other, their weapons clashing loudly. Soon, Moon Knight joins in on the action, sending multiple batons flying towards Scarlet. She waves her hands dismissively, sending the batons flying backwards. She then turns to Moon Knight, stating, "You should really pick your battles more carefully, Moon Knight. You're in way over your head here," she says. But Moon Knight doesn't respond. Instead, he leaps towards her and sends several knee strikes to her torso. She stumbles backwards, clearly not expecting such brute force. She quickly recovers and blasts him with a wave of energy, He crashes to the ground below. Meanwhile, Black Panther and Blade continue their intense sword fight, neither one getting the upper hand. Suddenly, Nova appears in front of Scarlet and tells her, "It's over." "Time to go," he says. "You wish, Bug Boy," she replies. She creates a portal and disappears inside. As the other three heroes regroup, Black Panther asks, "Where do you think she went?" Nova shrugs his shoulders, replying, "Who cares? We won," he says. But their celebration is short-lived. A loud explosion erupts from above. The four heroes look up just in time to see Scarlet crash through the roof, landing in front of them. "Did you really think you could defeat me that easily?" she says. "I'm done playing around. Now it's time to finish this," she adds. Before any of them could respond, she creates several portals, opening them all at once. Out of each portal came members of the Brotherhood of Mutants, all attacking the four heroes at once. There are just too many of them though, and they're soon overwhelmed. As they're being attacked, Black Panther looks to Nova and says, "We need to get out of here. There are too many of them," he says. Nova nods his head in agreement and uses his energy blasts to clear a path for them. He and Black Panther make it to the rooftop, with Moon Knight and Blade following close behind. Once they've made it to the rooftop, Nova turns to Scarlet and says, "This isn't over," he says. She simply laughs and replies, "Oh, I know it's not, and I can't wait for round 2, she says. As the other three make their way to the horizon, Blade turns to Scarlet and charges forward, slashing his sword across her face. She gasps as blood runs down her cheek. "You think that hurt me?" she says. "Then show me," she adds. As she reaches out her hand, tendrils of energy erupt from her fingertips, piercing through Blade's chest. He crashes to the ground below, lying motionless. She turns to Moon Knight and blasts him with a wave of energy, sending him crashing through multiple buildings. She then sets her sights on Black Panther. "You're next, Panther," she says. He leaps into the air, dodging her attack. "I'll never submit to you," he says. She simply laughs and replies, "That's all right, kitty cat. I'm not here to take your life just yet. I'm here to offer you a place in my new world," she says. "A world where I am the supreme ruler of," she adds. "That offer's expired, Wanda," says a familiar voice. It's Dr. Strange, standing on top of a nearby building. "Strange," she says. "What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be on your honeymoon right now?" he asks. "I could ask you the same thing. Where's Wang?" she asks. "He left me to handle this," he replies. She scoffs and says, "Always with the Wang jokes. Steven, no wonder you two are such good friends," she says. She then turns back to Black Panther and says, "Join me, T'Challa, and I will give you everything you desire," she says. "Power, wealth, glory. I will make you king of my new world," she adds. "Your world will be my grave," he replies. "So be it," she says. With a wave of her hand, she transforms the streets into a dark and desolate wasteland. Vines and thorny bushes spring from the ground, ensnaring Black Panther. He struggles to free himself, but they seem to be made of pure magic, and he can't get free. "T'Challa," Dr. Strange calls out. He fires a blast of magic at the bushes, freeing Black Panther from his prison. "Thanks, Strange," he says. Together, the two stand back to back, ready to fight. "You should have stayed out of this, old man," she says. "I'm not so old, you know," he replies. "If you want a piece of me, then come and get it," she says. She creates a portal and disappears inside. Dr. Strange and Black Panther exchange glances before charging forward. Who do you think wins this battle, and why? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this episode of Marvel Rivals, be sure to check out more episodes. I'm the host, and until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and stay nerdy.